Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us for pricing. Our email is tmosso@the1916company.com. Today we discuss a model launched in 2019. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Automatic 15500. So the 15500 OR in rose gold. I featured this watch before, but never on the factory rubber strap. So we've got a different look and a watch that wears a little bit differently than it does on alligator or with a full bracelet. So basics, well, 41 millimeters in diameter. The watch is 10.6 millimeters thick. If we just measure the edges of the case, lug to lug, it's 50.4 millimeters. If we measure the end links, the little plots that project out, then the rigid distance across the wrist is a larger 54.4 millimeters. We'll throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I've always opined that these Royal Oaks, whether Royal Oaks or offshores, wear larger than their rated size. And I usually say the 41 wears like a 43, but on the rubber strap, I'm going to amend that. It actually wears more like a 42. It is a bit friendlier to a wrist when it's on this flexible rubber strap than if you wear it on the alligator strap or the integrated bracelet. It's flat enough to fit under a cuff, no issues there, helpful with a rose gold watch. But I will say that given the strap is so flexible, my wrist again is 16 centimeters circumference. I think you could wear this on a wrist as small as 15 with the rubber strap. Also, being that this is a 50-meter water-resistant watch with a screw-down crown, combine those two features in tandem, you now have a watch that can be used for surface swimming. Not possible if it's on a leather strap, but on rubber, game on. The strap, as you can see, is an AP factory piece, excellent condition, top and bottom. The watch is equipped with a single-fold logo-style deployant clasp. It has the AP logo on it. You can see the buckle and the folding chassis, all polished. Although this is a strap-clad Royal Oak, every Royal Oak on a strap features a profile designed to preserve the integration of case and lug and bracelet, first envisioned by designer Gerald Genta when he created the initial Royal Oak in 1972. So you still get that integrated look, maybe not tonally because of the light and dark contrast, but certainly in terms of form, one blends seamlessly into the other. Also, we've got quite a contrast here. We've got the black dial, the rose gold case, and the black strap. So dial and strap match nicely. This is a wonderfully coordinated combination of complementary colors. The finishing of the case and the bezel is exactly what you'd expect on a Royal Oak. Very fine breaks between polish and satin with crisp transitions all laid down by hand. You've got that hexagonal screw-down crown, but then you've also got these hexagonal white gold bolts in the bezel, and they're designed to echo each other in form, and they are bolts. That's how you can get the slots aligned all the way around. There's a combination of polish and satin. You can see the bezel has satin on its top, polish on its flank, and then a very small flange of satin with a very slightly expressed bezel gasket. It's never been a dominant styling feature the way it is on the offshore, but the Royal Oak always had a little sliver of visible bezel gasket. Now the bolts are white golds. They're a little bit warmer than the steel bolts you find on an offshore, and on an offshore they are generally steel unless otherwise noted. We also have a rounded octagonal bezel. This was inspired by a vintage diving helmet on the original Royal Oak. The dial is what's known as the grande tapisserie. It is the large hobnail, not the huge. There's a mega and then there's a petite tapisserie, and this is the larger hobnail that is cut on a pantograph. The petite and the grand are the ones cut on pantographs, whereas the mega is a stamped dial. So what you get right here is these hobnails that are cut using a mimicry lathe, a really big template with all of these little hobnails and then details across and between them. That is etched onto a brass blank that is then colored to become the dial. So there are somewhere between 10 and 20,000 little textured points on this dial, and it's all cut using a mimicry engine from the 19th century. Now we can see there are rose gold hands and indices and logo on the tapisserie dial. You can also see that it is well loomed. So this is a sports watch through and through. One feature AP introduced in 2012 on all the Royal Oaks that was frankly overdue before that was a date disc that's the same color as the dial. And so we have that here, white on black for a black dial. Now you can see we have hacking or stop seconds. If you want to set the watch to a reference time, and then there is an intermediate position for the crown if you wish to quick set the date. The reason gold hands are used, and there is a reason beyond just looking good, all these gold pieces on the dial will not tarnish, cloud, or oxidize over time. Flip it. No more tapisserie. Now we have the movement. And we have a movement that is properly sized for the case now. For a long time, AP used its 3120 movement, which was a good timekeeper of high quality, but it was only about 26 millimeters in diameter. The new generation 4302 is 32 millimeters. It fully fills this case back, hand and glove. Automatic winding, you can see it has ceramic bearings for better efficiency and reduced maintenance requirements. A lovely rotor that's been skeletonized and beautifully beveled internally, with a multiplicity of sharp interior angles that meet at a crease at the point of their junction. That's a rare feature, and AP doesn't short them. You get plenty. You can also see there's beveling, there's satination, and there's polish on this rotor. There's a sunburst over the center. We have stripes or Côte de Genève across the bridges. There's engine-turned perlage on the base plate, black polished or mirror-finished screws, satination on the wheels. Then you can see that there's a mostly machined but handsome and well-finished bevel on the bridges. Now, technically speaking, you saw the quick set and the hacking seconds. Also a 70-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz beat rate, 32 pivot joules, and you can see we have a free-sprung Gyromax style balance for precise adjustment and toughness against shock, and we have this dual anchored balance bridge for the same purpose, to better brace the balance under conditions of shock. If you love this watch, reach out to us, Team Mosso at the 1916 Company, for purchase and pricing details.